Thank you for joining us again for my continuing coverage of the Budo League. I'm Gunter, and today is the third set between the Shimazu clan and the Takeda clan's Team 1. They're currently 1-all. Joining me is my co-caster and analyst, the Horo-shu clan's Kuro. How you doing, Kuro?
Not too bad, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. So today's matchup is between the Shimazu clan's Kinjo and the Takeda clan's Nishina. Unit compositions, Kuro, take it away.
Okay, let's have a look at Kinjo first. Kinjo has a strong bow complement. He has 3 warrior monks. Oh, not warrior monks, sorry, bow monks. These are strong, highly vetted. He has, let me have a look, some Nag samurais. He has 3 of them, intertwined with Yari Ashi, and has a lone sword on the flank. In the woods, he has 2 Yari cavalry and a matchlock unit, and then he has a matchlock unit at the back with a warrior monk. Okay, let's have a look at Nishina. On his flank, he has a Yari Ashigaru with 2 bow cavalry, and he has 2 great guard with them. The other cavalry he has in his army are 2 Yari Cav. He has some Yari Ashi, some more monk matchlocks, some lone swords, and some katana samurai, and at the back he then has some more Yari Ashi. So, looking at Nishina's army, he doesn't have much in the form of sort of archery. He does have some bow cavalry though, so yeah, it looks pretty even.
Yeah, now we saw bow cavalry being used pretty effectively by TAC-27 in a game that I shoutcast a couple of days ago. Do you think they're a good replacement for standard footman archers?
It is totally dependent on micro. I think it's the way that you use them. If you use them well and you get them around the sides and on the flanks and you sort of split the enemy army up, I think they can be very, very useful. However, I would say they can be countered, and you've only got, personally, I wouldn't use them because you've only got sort of 60 units, and in the bow monks there's 75, and they're a hell of a lot more powerful with greater range too. So personally, I would go for foot bow, but you know, let's see. I've never really used it, so I can't really comment that much. But it depends on micro, I think.
Alright, so might as well see how he uses them. So we should both be paused, and we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. We are on Rice Fields, which is ever the popular map. Do you think it's... well, I mean, obviously it is the most balanced map. Do you think maybe people are going to get bored playing on Rice Fields, like, every time?
I should think so. Eventually, people always will. But I still think that for a tournament map, it is the favourite. However, I would say that people should try and start using some of the new maps that have come out in the patch. Aki's a good one, and then there's another one as well, which I forget the name of. So I think they should start to use them more after this one has had its time. But I still think it's pretty fresh in terms of tournaments.
First thing happening is that Nishina Morinobu had a unit of light cavalry hidden in the forest. They're in wedge formation, screaming up his right flank. So there's something different.
And he's sending all his big cavalry units and bow units far to the left. So he's trying to sort of spread his units out.
Kinjo's moving out a unit of Yari cavalry to fend off the light cavalry, it seems.
It seems Nishina's splitting his forces into sort of, you know, these 3 groups, sort of, you know, so he has protection of cavalry and bow, and then another one is again cavalry and then some spear, and then he's got his sort of a bigger force of match and all his melee units.
He seems to be avoiding the farmhouse capturable, which we have on the map. Do you think that might be a worthwhile building for either of these 2 players?
I would say for Nishina it definitely is. If he's got bow cavalry, he should take that. There's no reason why he shouldn't.
Now we see 2 of Kinjo's units hemming in this unit of light cavalry, who is all alone over on this flank, and they are going to get caught.
It's a good move that for Cav. If someone sends Cav up on the flank too far, you just send one of them to cut him off, and that's it. He has no escape.
And
so,
that is
well
one unit of light
Kinjo.
cavalry routed. Yep, good work indeed. But you can see the attack coming from Nishina over on the left-hand side. He's gone wide left.
Kinjo's main force is pretty static. He's concentrated on the light cav. I think he'll move now.
He has just wheeled his forces around to meet this attack. And he's moving the matchlocks forward. And Nishina responds by moving even further left.
So, yeah. The cavalry out. Kinjo's cavalry is out on his left, on Nisha's right, so... And he's got cavalry to cover him. Nishina's got cavalry to cover him, so he should be okay. It's just his Kinjo's ranged units. God, they'll probably have 200 range, and we'll be able to pick at. Yeah, they've already started picking at the Yari on the left.
So the skirmish has begun. Nishina's general awfully far forward. And he does realise and pull them back.
Yeah, it's not so clever moving a general near to woodland that you haven't really seen into yet.
And there is a unit of matchlock in there, so...
Yeah.
Good choice moving it back. We can tell. So, the strategy here for Kinjo is obviously content on defense. Nishina still thinking about the attack? How would you approach this if you were Nishina?
Nishina's got to take advantage of his bow cav, I think. I think he's got to sort of wheel them round the back a bit more and start hitting sort of general unit, matchlock unit. He's no match for Kinjo's bows. Kinjo's bows are highly vetted, they've probably got 200 range, and with one volley we'll be able to take at least... Oh, he's charging. Is he not? Looks like he is. No, he's pulled back.
And they did eat a pretty murderous volley from both the bow warrior monks and the matchlocks as well, so...
Yeah. Nishina's got to use his bow cav a little bit better, I think. He's got to move them round the side, start hitting that matchlock unit, in my opinion. If he can get rid of the matchlock, then he can move his matchlock in and have a charge. But at the moment, he's totally outranged by Kinjo.
Over on the other flank, incredible, Kinjo moved forward a unit of matchlocks, fired a volley at the general and killed him. One volley, dead.
Oh, wow, what a move that was. That's the problem with splitting your force up so much.
And now the bow cavalry is starting to waver, the Yari Ashigaru on his right flank is starting to waver. This has, in one stroke, gone wrong for Nishina.
You should never ever leave your general that vulnerable. He should be he should have been behind with his main force. And look, his bow cavalry is also starting to waver through archer fire. He's going to have to do something here. It's getting pretty desperate. He's just going to get picked at. His great guard should move in, I think. Yeah, there goes the bow cav. There goes his Ashi in the corner. Oh dear, this isn't looking good.
No, everything has gone wrong now. Morale is gone. He's starting to lose units because he had them spread out, and the matchlock were just picking them off. The bow warrior monks were picking them off. There goes.
This isn't going to last long.
Another unit of bow cavalry retreating. Nishina is just charging in now, I can see.
That's the only thing he can do, really.
Forced to go on the
Totally
offensive.
outraged. Yeah.
And he throws his great guard into a unit of Naginata samurai. I could have thought of a better way to use them.
What Nishina should have done, in my opinion, is he had a greater cavalry, so he should have moved his great guard around the back and tried to attack Kinjo's cavalry, taken them out, and then had cavalry dominance and just kept wheeling Kinjo around. But instead, he just sort of kept the great guard until the end, until it was too late.
Yep, and he threw them into the Naginatas. Not a good choice. They just ate a volley from this unit of matchlocks. They're wavering and fleeing. And one can't imagine Nishina winning this now. He's outnumbered and surrounded and outgunned.
Our general facing grave danger, my lord.
Yeah, this is all over. Kinjo is going to move his matchlocks round to the flank and will take and volley into him, and then his warrior monks will charge the rear.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours.
And there we go.
Here come the warrior monks at the rear. They'll charge and war cry, no doubt.
It's all over.
Yeah.
Very
Done.
convincing win for Kinjo. Very good. Noticing the opening with the matchlocks to pick off his general.
That is a problem with spreading your units out, is the micro. You have to have a free camera. You have to sort of zoom up so your units are a lot smaller so you can see all of them. If you spread them out and the camera is in too close, then you miss flank movements. So,
So Kinjo
convincing win.
Yeah, convincing win indeed. So Kinjo goes up 1-0 over Nishina Morinobu in this best-of-3 set. Here we go, Game 2 in this best-of-3 set between the Shimazu clan's Kinjo and the Takeda clan Team 1's Nishina Morinobu. Kinjo is already up 1-0. We are on the Bay of Many Faces, which is completely different to Rice Fields in almost every way. Good to see a new map.
It is. It's an interesting map. It is a bottle. It's a natural bottleneck, but then there's a wooded area all along the middle and a ridge that you can use effectively. So I enjoy this map personally.
Okay, so like to take us through the unit compositions for the second game?
I will. I think Kinjo has pretty much the same sort of army. He has very strong bow warrior monks, and he then has his Nag samurai in the middle with some Yari Ashigaru. To the right in the sort of forest, he has a matchlock unit, 2 cavalry units, which are Yari Cav, and then he has some Nag Samurai as well. And then to the other forest, hidden away, he has another matchlock unit, a lone sword, and some warrior monks. Nishina, from what we can see, he must have some hidden units in the woods because he clearly doesn't have enough. However, what we can see, he has a Nag Samurai unit in the woodland, some Katana Samurai in the middle with some Nag Samurai. He has 2 Katana cavalry and a bow cavalry. He's looking very short of ranged units at the moment, but he probably has them hidden in the woodland, so no doubt they will appear soon.
So we can't really tell from the off whether Kinjo is going to adapt. Whether Nishina is going to adapt to Kinjo's style of play. So we might as well get it started and find out. We should both be paused, and hopefully you won't be 15 seconds behind me this time. And it will start in 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay, we're off. Alright, it's waiting with the hidden units. That's the telltales that we need to see.
Yep. And he's already moving forward, so we may see them pretty quickly.
The sword dojo is pretty good, so I should imagine that they'll try to either capture it, or if one tries to capture it, the other one will then try to defend it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The morale, it is again, and I personally like the morale dojo. It does give a boost.
If your general is all leadership spec, can you ignore the shrine a bit more? Or do you still want to have it anyway, because it's an extra bonus on top of what your general already gives?
It depends on the sort of what's going on in the battle. If your opponent's very slow moving and is sort of sitting in his deployment area and isn't doing much, go and take it. If he's moving around and you need your cavalry unit, pull him out and use him. However, any dojo is always a bonus. This time, I think they're both going to leave it alone.
You can see that Nishina is sort of skewing towards the sword dojo on the beach, and despite his movement, we haven't really seen... Oh, there we go, we got a unit of Nodachi Samurai appearing out of the forest now.
Oh, yeah. They're heavily vetted as well, so he needs to get them into melee quick and hope they don't take too much damage off Kinjo's bows, because Kinjo's bows will rip them to shreds.
Now, once again, you can see Nishina moving his general forward. They've got bow spec, it seems. And a pretty long range, but still a dangerous thing to do, as we saw in the last game.
The thing is, and Kinjo's bows will also have 200 range, so he's got to be very careful. Kinjo's pulling his matchlocks back, so he's got a tiered effect. Nishina has moved his bow cavalry up to the morale dojo, so maybe he'll take that.
And he'll have to dismount to do it.
Yeah. Kinjo's got his Yari cab up here, so down below, so maybe he'll wait for him to dismount and then go and charge him.
Now Nishina is moving forward, not in a very pretty formation. His general is still out front, begging to be picked off again.
Yeah. This is why I don't use a bow general. He's very vulnerable to being killed, and never really does that much damage. If you're protective about your general, you can always just move him out of range. Again, look, Kinjo's moving his matchlock forward. Will it happen again? No. He's moved him back. Well done. Okay.
Now Nishina is sending his bow cavalry down the hill on the far side. Probably going to be surrounded and destroyed by Yari cavalry again.
Yes. If Kinjo's smart, he'll just send one cavalry unit to cut him off, and then the other unit, when they'll just sandwich him. You see, this map is not really very good for bow cavalry, in my opinion.
Now the skirmish has started on the front line. Those bow warrior monks doing a lot of damage to the Naginata samurai on the front line.
10 lost. 10 lost. Yeah. 20 lost in 2, maybe 3 volleys.
And yeah, the bow cavalry have already been routed. That didn't take long at all, so far away from the rest of the forces. Now the unit of matchlocks in the trees for Nishina. They snuck all the way around, ate one volley, and are now about to flee. And here comes a unit of Yari cavalry, and a unit of Nodachi samurai screaming out of the trees. Going to hit Kinjo in his flank.
Oh, they snuck out of nowhere, didn't they?
Yep. So, Nishina does have a few tricks up his sleeve, but will it be enough? Will it be enough to pull a victory?
It's quite a good move to get those bow monks. He needs to get those bows desperately. It's the only way that he's going to win this game.
Cavalry, I'm afraid, didn't last long. They routed very quickly. They were taking a lot of fire from the matchlocks. And Nishina is moving the rest of his force in, but still taking a lot of damage from the bow warrior monks, which are retreating.
Yeah. Kinjo's clever, you see. He has his bow monks, and then he has his matchlocks ready for any sort of cavalry charge, anything that'll come as a surprise. And that's always going to be a problem for Nishina. He was totally outranged from the beginning.
Kinjo is responding with his cavalry in the forest by the hill. Went after those matchlocks.
Our men are running from the battlefield.
He's charging his Yari in. They should technically get there, I think. Not sure about Nishina's positioning of those matchlocks.
Well, he did manage to sneak them all the way up to the front line and fire a volley, but they were definitely cut off from the rest of his force, and he had nothing there to support them. And now the RE for Kinjo are sweeping around to Nishina's general, who is already wavering.
Yeah,
and he is dead.
Not looking good. This is all over again. That's the problem with the bow general. He just dies so quickly. If you have him too heavily stacked in one area, that's it.
So, 2 very convincing wins for the Shimazu clan's Kinjo. He goes up 2-0, takes the 3rd set for the Shimazu clan. It is now 2-1 in favor of the Shimazu clan in this Budo League competition.
Well played, Kinjo.